light a little bit better, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. That'll work. Might have to turn up a little bit later, so that's okay. Let me see. Oh, I gotta do that. Gotta do the chat thing. A lot more. Picture in picture. No, I better not do that. All right, I think this might work. All right. I think we're cooking with gas now. It's having trouble getting on here. I think I'm good now, hopefully. So we'll see. If you guys can hear me, we're good. That's good. So, hi everybody. So this one is going to be a metaphysical anatomy. So I like to do this one too. Of course, I like to do all the Q&As. I enjoy them. They're nice. I like them. So metaphysical anatomy is all about how your body starts to go to crap, usually because of negative emotions that we're holding on to that we aren't usually aware of. So thank you for everything last night. Forgot to say thank you. Oh, you're welcome, Crystal. That was fun. We did a trauma to triumph workshop yesterday. So it was actually pretty good. I will work. May is batshit crazy for me because Steven's graduating and I got to clean the house and, you know, graduation stuff. So, but June is looking a little bit better. So I'm going to be having a lot more Zoom sessions in June for some of those classes I've been offering, like the open forums and stuff like that. So yeah. Let's see here. Trevor is asking about your uncle. So for that one in particular, I like rutilated, anything like gold rutilated. Quartz is great. Rainbow fluoride is also pretty good. And I like smoky quartz would be pretty awesome with that too. So yeah. But yeah, this is, like I said, I know a lot of people, especially people that were, you know, overseas. Like I have a lot of followers in New Zealand for some reason. So hi, my New Zealanders. But I'm working on, like I said, June and July, I'll start doing more those Zoom sessions because again, I just wanted to try it out to see how well received it was going to be, to see, you know, how it was going to work out and stuff like that. So yeah, it looks pretty good. So the whole month of May, my marketing director and I, Alika, are going to, well, she's the one working on it. Let's be real. We're revamping my website, but it's not going to be just a normal website. It's pretty in depth with a lot of different moving parts to it. And thank God I have an amazing marketing director who can handle that, which I am fully aware that most people couldn't. So, but right now, if you try to go to my website, you're going to notice that it's under construction. So, but like I said, we're quite literally revamping everything. So, so bear with me on that. So it's kind of like we're shifting gears here a little bit. So your cat came running over when she heard the live. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what it is with cats. I can like be outside and a cat will show up. Like all cats like me. Of course I like cats too. But it's kind of weird that cats like will listen to me talk. So it's funny. Oh, this is a good one. I'll talk about this one. Any way to minimize sleep paralysis? Yes. So ask God before you go to bed, before you go to bed at night, to just stay in your body and not astral travel that night. Because what happens is when you're astral traveling just a little bit too much, you come back in your body, but your body's starting to wake up and your soul is kind of hovering over the body, and then you have to slam it back in. And spirit doesn't like to see that. So spirit doesn't like to see that. So the best thing I can do is to tell you is to, like I said, ask God for you not to do that. I got cleared of that by asking my spirit guides or whoever I was talking to, because I'm a lucid dreamer, that if they show me a clock or a watch, then I need to shut up and get back home. So, and anymore when I see that, yeah, I'm absolutely doing that. So Amanda's asking, do I know anything about the estrogen in tap water and plastic bottles? I'll tell you what, personally, I don't drink out of the tap, but here's the deal. We bathe in it. So there's no real way of getting around it. But at the same time, like I said, I don't trust tap water and the drugs that people put down the toilet, for instance. Like, I don't trust that. So personally, I try not to drink tap water if I can't help it. But to each their own. Do your own research. Let's see. Is moon water good for pets? Yeah, actually it is. So I put it in my dog's water if I have extra. Let's see. What was the other one? Made moon water last night. The bubble glass jars this morning had bubbles, straight lines all the way up. That's not a bad thing. So it just means that it's literally energized. So that's the more bubbles for me. It always feels like there's more energy, or it's more energized. So son always has dry scalp and dandruff. Mindy, that is usually a nutritional issue. So he's missing something in his nutrition. Usually that's like vitamin E. So one, let's make sure that he's got the vitamins on hand. And number two, it might not be dry scalp or dandruff. It could be a fungal infection. This is where maybe we need to get a doc in there to really figure that out and see if that's really what it is. So here's another one. If I drink spring water, should I still incorporate Celtic salt into your diet? I do. So this is the salt that I use right here. I know right now I do have some on my Amazon account. I like influencer account. But this is the one preferably that I like, but right now it's not even available. But it's the kosher Celtic sea salt. So you need like 102 different vitamins and minerals in your body, especially the minerals. This has a good 80 to 90 of the minerals that you need in your body. So I literally, all I do every day, and I cook with it all the time. So just take a pinch of it like that, put it in your mouth. It's just salt. So, and then drink water. That's it. So, but usually, like I said, we had sloppy joes tonight. So I sprinkled a little bit of that on there before I ate. But that's one of the best salts out there. And it tastes like salt. Like you know how some salt is like, yeah, it's salty, but it's not the same. I love that because it's actually salty, like salty. It's one of my favorite. So I like this one. Where's the best place to find info on growing plants and doing things during moon phases? Farmer's Almanac. So I will tell you, there is something with the Farmer's Almanac. I swear by it. So I don't plant on certain days of the moon phases. I do it when Mr. Farmer Almanac tells me to. I've been in horticulture since I've been a kid, and I can tell you that I don't know who invented it or what, but I will go by that all the time. So there's just certain days in phases of the moon that you don't want to plant plants, and then there's other times where they're like it's a green light. So I know that sounds strange, but I always go by the Farmer's Almanac. There's a lot of information in the Farmer's Almanac, especially, I mean, it varies, but there's a lot of different things on the Farmer's Almanac. And I highly suggest if you don't get one, get one. So let's see here. Let me talk about this one really quick. You've been seeing the 3s a lot lately. You used to see the 6s, know what the change is. So 3s are just Spirit's way of saying, you know what, it's time to start trusting them, or at least have a little bit more faith and trusting your own abilities and your own connection with God source energy. 6s are all about money, that you're focused in on the lack of money, and you're focused in on debt and bills and the lack of money. So yeah, let's see here. You need permission to access Akashic records for other people in the same way as astral traveling. Boone, usually I'm going to say yes. But it's kind of like if you're doing it in a dream state, that's different, I guess. But if you can read the Akash, then, usually, yes, we want to get permission. But sometimes if you're astral traveling and doing it, you'll bump into that once in a while. I know I have done it. So, yes, you should, but sometimes you can't. So I get that. Let's see. Here's one. So, let me explain something really quick. So this is the Metaphysical Anatomy one. So this is all about how your body goes into disease due to a negative emotion or a negative, process or thought that you're holding on to. So blood cancers, I want to talk about this. Now, depending on the blood cancer, leukemia to me is more of a viral type of cancer, whereas say other blood cancers aren't. So it kind of depends on which one we're talking about, but ultimately cancer is holding on to resentment, usually with how you were raised with a parent, sometimes with somebody that did you dirty. So almost always that's the basis of cancer is resentment. Now that's not 100%. That's usually a good, 85 to 90% of the cases that I could see, but other cases, sometimes it's viral. And in my case, leukemia to me would be viral. So, this is funny, but I have to actually, this is good. My cousin sniffed gas and saw an Indian guy. Could it be a spirit guide? Yes and no. So it could be a spirit guide, but if you're here in Nebraska, you might have seen a ghost. So that's a hard one for me, but I do want to acknowledge that because, again, here in Nebraska, we're very native based here. So it could be, maybe he saw a ghost, but yes, it absolutely could be his spirit guide or maybe even your spirit guide. So, sorry, here's this one that I wanted to see. What is colon cancer? Colon cancer is usually holding on to resentment with a sibling because you feel that they get treated better within the family than you do. And so the resentment is exactly that. So, and Michelle, this is where I'm saying is that to me, viral types of cancer in children are almost always the viral type. It's not because they're holding on to a negative emotion. It's usually you have to have two viral illnesses before your autoimmune kind of kicks in. And so that autoimmune cancer is kind of what I'm talking about. So, I mean, you have to have two big viral illnesses like RSV and, West Nile or COVID or something along those lines in order for you to spin off an autoimmune issue. So I will go with this one. Struggling with pain 2 years, struggling to keep faith, how to increase faith and hope. So Dalton, the best thing I can do is keep going until you get an answer, because you have to be your best advocate in the medical community at this point, because I think we can all agree it really doesn't, it's a disservice to us anymore. But the other thing I'm going to tell you is let's also look at alternative stuff too. So because a lot of times people don't realize if we could have alternative and medical work together, nobody would be sick, but the pharmaceutical company would be out a lot of money and they won't allow that. So they're going to keep us baiting each other, right? So, but like I said, ultimately, I'm going to have you look at all avenues here and keep working until you finally get some relief. What causes heel spurs? Peggy, stubbornness, absolute stubbornness. And stubbornness is just fear of change. That's what stubbornness is. This one, I was going to answer this one quick. Top books I'm going to recommend for today's theme. That's Metaphysical Anatomy. I'm telling you, we don't sell this at the store. And here's the reason why, is because I can get probably 50 of these books in. One, they're heavy as hell. Okay. Two, that it usually kind of, the binding doesn't stay very well in shipping. So I don't carry these at the store. Get on Amazon, Metaphysical Anatomy. Like I said, it's going to be on my Amazon influencer page. I will post that on Facebook as soon as I'm done here. But this is the book I'm going to recommend by Yvette Rose. It is the first copy of Metaphysical Anatomy. The second, third, don't get them. So, but this one, love. I'd agree with a good 80% of what's in this book. I really, really do. So it's Metaphysical Anatomy by Yvette Rose. I like it. Okay, hang on. PCOS is usually because your dad really wasn't there for you, emotionally speaking, between the ages of 10 and about 15. So that's usually why most women have PCOS. They had a good dad, but he just wasn't emotionally, or still isn't emotionally available. And then they marry somebody just like their father, who is a workaholic, and they're not really around a whole bunch. So that's usually what I see with PCOS, is that the dad wasn't emotionally available for you. Bladder cancer is you're really pissed off. and you resent somebody for making you angry, even though you're in control of your anger, but you don't think you are, but you are. So that's where that one's at. Let's see here. Sorry, some of these are going kind of fast. Chiropractic care has made a huge difference. Yeah, I actually go to, well, my brother's a chiropractor, but I go monthly. I'm way overdue. Way overdue. Hypoglycemia, Mindy, is usually, I see hypoglycemia and hyperglycemia, a lot of people that have depression. And hypoglycemia is, it's really your solar plexus, your lack of self-confidence. And usually that has a lot to do with not going out and having fun. Like you're all work, no play. So more play. Cancer in pets, honestly, it's usually food. It's usually the food that does it. Pancreatic cancer. Pancreatic cancer is usually because of criticism. Horrible amounts of criticism, whether you criticize yourself or you're living with somebody who's critical. So, but somebody who constantly criticizes you. Let's see. Amy is asking, she doesn't know if her diagnosis is true. I'm going to tell you, go get a second or even a third opinion. So this is again where you have to learn how to be your best advocate. You really, really do. Let's see. Father had Parkinson's, electrodes are doing well, low blood pressure when standing. Any ideas where to look? Rhonda? And this might be one of those where maybe we need to talk to somebody who deals with blood or blood pressure, not just a general doctor. So like I said, don't be afraid to ask your doctor to get referred to somebody else. And if they have a problem with it, it's their freaking ego. Go find somebody who's going to help. So this one is underactive thyroid. So usually an underactive thyroid, anything thyroid is because you don't speak your truth. In other words, you don't say no. And then you get mad at the end of the day because you didn't say no, but you get mad at somebody else because when you need help, there's nobody there. So you got to learn how to say no, no. Let's see here. High rise of insecurities. And Chelsea, this is where you need to start learning how to talk to yourself better, because your thoughts about yourself is not positive at all. And the only person that's going to make you feel better about yourself ain't a man that comes by. It's going to be you. Because if you don't believe what they're saying anyway, it's going to be irrelevant. So you need to start talking to yourself better. You probably still have your mom or your dad in your head telling you things, and you need to learn how to rewire that. All righty. And if that means that we need a little bit of counseling to help you out with that, so be it. That's okay. That's all right. Migraines and anxiety are like peas in a pod. They're like sisters, Holly. And that is all because of perfectionism. It's because more than likely you had to learn how to be perfect to either stay out of trouble, or because you took it upon yourself to be that way. So it's a perfectionism issue. It really is. So that's why I'm like, let it go. So ADHD, welcome to my world, Shauna. So us neurodivergent people are just neurodivergent. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. So, and it's not necessarily something in childhood. So I'm still trying to figure that out. Honestly, I think it's probably because our mom took Tylenol. I'm not wondering. I wonder. I didn't catch this one, but I will say that wonder about fungal infections. Usually that is because, I gotta hang on. I'm gonna look that one up because I know it's an overload of sugar. I could tell you that, but there is an actual, let me see. I'm just gonna say yeast. Let's see. I gotta look that one up because that's actually pretty good. Yeast at sickle cell. No. Hang on. That's what I'm telling you, I love this book. But I don't remember what that one is. Vomiting, warts, weight, whooping cough. Hang on. Worms, what the hell? Yeast. Damn it. See, allergies. No. Now I'm going to try fungus. Let's see. EF. Elephantitis. Ah! Emotions. No. Female problems. No. Hang on. Fingers. Okay, so fungus. Aha. Holding on to trauma that you can't let go of. You often feel that someone has to pay and take responsibility for the pain and injustice that was inflicted upon you. Your resentment has become more than a familiar old feeling. It's almost part of you, and you don't even know that who you are without that feeling. So yeah, it's holding on to trauma that you can't let go of. Fungus. Fungus among us. Yes. Feeling a lot of vibration last couple of days. Like it's going to start getting better, especially starting this weekend. Finally. So yeah. Let's see. Not sure if this, what about twin flame heartbreak? I'm gonna be real with you. I hate this word. I hate this word because it has been romanticized so much. For me, it's a joke. Okay, you'll be lucky in this lifetime if you can find a soulmate. The twin flame thing is a joke because here's the deal. A twin flame would never break your heart because they are identical to you. They are just as much part of you as you are to you. Okay, so there is no such thing as a twin flame heartbreak. What it is, Megan, is because you met somebody that happened to be enlightened and you've never been enlightened before. So therefore, you've never met another man that's enlightened, and all of a sudden you happen to be vibrating at the same frequency that he did. Therefore, you felt that frequency. And a lot of women are like, oh my God, that's the one, that's my twin flame. I'm like, no, it's because you experienced somebody that was vibrating at the same energy level as you. And when those two energies exist, they actually double or triple in frequency. And there is no such thing as a twin flame, okay? Twin flames are reserved for kids 8 years and younger because they have the potential, because they have never incarnated on earth before, that they have an opportunity to meet their twin flame. Adults don't have twin flames. We have a soulmate or a karmic relationship. Twin flames are reserved for children. That's why 20 years ago or even 10 years ago, you've never heard about twin flames. So I hate the word twin flame because it is a sacred union and it gets thrown around the block like it's some freaking joke. And it's not. It's something that is very high up, and it would require, and when two twin flame people get together, shit's gonna roll. So, but that's not for us. That's for those children. That's good stuff. I'm telling you, but they look alike. That's the point. Twin flame, they're going to look alike, very similar, and they're going to have similar names, and their horoscope and numerology is all going to be very similar. That's why it's called a twin flame. Here, I'm going to talk about this one. Dawn saying that I've been feeling impending doom. What does it mean? I'm going to be real with you. We all have been feeling this. And the reason why is because 2025, we are going into a new paradigm. We are going into a new era. And right now, it's my job to get you to fix your damn trauma and for you to cut the damn cords and put proper boundaries up so you can hurry up and get up the damn mountain so we can all start joining together and rocking the damn boat. But we can't do that right now because it's not quite time. This impending doom that you're feeling is because the bad guys have one more move up their sleeve before we take over. So, but sometimes you need a sliver for things to change. So, or a catalyst. So we're just all waiting for the catalyst. And that's that impending feeling that you're having. Okay. That's where it's coming from. So, but we all have it right now. And I'm going to tell you what, there's nothing you can do about it. Not right now, neither can I. So worrying about it or talking about it is irrelevant because, again, nothing you can do. All right. So because we're all going to be in this together. It's all good. So, but I've never known so much fear to be in the spiritual community. I was actually blown away at how many psychic mediums and spiritual people were talking about this eclipse and how doom and gloom it was going to be. And guess what? Nothing happened. So that's where I'm like, we're feeling this, but again, there's nothing we can do but worrying about the what if and future stuff. Let it go. Let it go. Like I said, you got enough work to do with working on your own thoughts and processes, let alone watching TV and worrying about what the hell's could happen. I don't play the what if game. I haven't played the what if game for years. So, and I'm not gonna. So, and you shouldn't either. That's why I'm like, instead, work on your traumas, work on your triggers. So that way, when it's time for us to start uniting together, we're good to go. We're good to go. Because here's the deal. When you know who you are because of where you've been, it doesn't matter what anybody says about you. You won't care. You won't care. So, it's great. So this is actually pretty good. Does listening to frequency videos during meditation really help raise vibrations? Yes. Music is a big deal. And if you knew and really truly understood music, you would understand that yes, listening to meditation music or certain frequencies, especially that resonate with your chakra system. Excellent. Excellent. So try not to listen to radio though. That's not, it's made for dissonance, not resonance. But some stuff's pretty good. Let's see. Victoria's asking, did she cleansed her son's crystals last night, cleansed and charged them in the full moon? So full moon is good for 3 days before and 3 days after. You're still good. Put them out there. All good. So knee pain, Amber, is usually because, especially right knee pain, is because you don't want to move forward with a job, like getting out of a job or getting out of a relationship because you're scared of the what if that might happen. So it's fear. It's fear of moving forward with a different job or a different relationship. That's what the right knee is all about. So when I think about buying a lottery ticket at times, it could tingle down the back of your spine. Go get one. When it tingles like that, stop what you're doing. Go get one. There's a reason. May not be because you need to win the lottery. Maybe it's because you need to bump into somebody that you might need to know. So when you have that, go. Absolutely go. Memory loss with enlightenment? Absolutely yes. Unfortunately, your short-term memory will go to shit. And the reason why is because if you don't use it, you lose it. So the more intuitive you become, in a weird way, the less logical you are because you're not using that side of the brain. You're using the right side instead. So yes, it's a weird little thing that happens. You'll also notice that your handwriting will get worse. Fun. This one, Christy, I have had a lot of people with myocarditis and AFib because they got the C shot. It's a direct link because of it. There really isn't much you can do other than, crystals are going to maybe help balance and stabilize that heart chakra. So, but yes. Oh, the book that I was looking up. Okay, like I said, I'll show this one again. It's Metaphysical Anatomy by Yvette Rose. And like I said, I'm going to post my Amazon link on Facebook after this is done for my page. But right here it is, Metaphysical Anatomy, Yvette Rose. Love it. Love it. Let me see. Left shoulder pain, Darla, has everything to do with the fact that you are overburdened with your kiddos or you're taking on your children's pain. Either way, make sure that you're asking for help. And I know a lot of moms don't like to ask for help, but ask for help if you need. You're literally just getting overburdened with kiddos. That's the left shoulder pain. That's where it's out. And if it's the right, here it is, the right one, and that has everything to do with you having to be the breadwinner and you have to provide the money and the resources for you and your family. And back issues has everything to do with money. So knowing that you have right shoulder pain and back issues, I really want you to watch how you're talking about money, because you're focused on debt, you're focused on lack of money, and you're also focused on, I have to work super hard to earn money. No, you don't. You really don't. Like I said, there's other ways of doing it. You learn how to meditate. Meditate. So thoughts on Joe Dispenza? He's the shit. He's the shit. I like him. I like him a lot. I love his books. Read them all. Really, read them all. Cognitive behavioral issues with pseudo seizures, that depending on where those seizures are at, it's par for the course. There really isn't much you can do. The only thing that, I don't know why this popped into my head, the main thing that I thought of was a hypobaric chamber. So I don't, maybe talk to doctor about that. I have no idea. But that's going to be pretty par for the course depending on where those seizures are. And it takes a while for the brain, after a seizure or any nerve type damage, really it just takes time. It takes time. So, like I said, a hyperbaric chamber might be able to help that. Yeah, the first, Dolores, yes, the first edition of that Metaphysical Anatomy. Don't get the other ones. They're not as good. Just get that one. So, was the pink moon why you were so emotional today? I was emotional today. You can ask my husband. Hey, babe, was I emotional this morning? Yeah. He's like, yeah. And I was mad because he wouldn't give me a hug. And I just thought that, he should know. So I'm like, oh. I'm like, yeah, that's the full moon. Love it. So is it a good time to cut your hair? You can cut it or trim it. Don't do anything crazy yet. 25th, so tomorrow is the end of retrograde. So you're good to go, Crystal, if you want to. So, but that's why I'm like, finally, we're starting to get some momentum here, but this weekend is going to start a new chapter in most people's books. So excited. So, you were in a drug-like state all day yesterday. I was too. I think a lot of us were, and that's kind of that full moon, but that full moon was made for you to release some shit. So like I said, if you feel like you need to cry it out, or you got anger, just get it out. Now's the time to get it out, because like I said, we're all going to be starting like a new chapter about Saturday or Sunday. That's why right now, just really pay attention to thoughts that kind of pop in there, especially when it comes to goals, ambitions, or dreams. Pay attention to that, because it's going to hit you and you're like, oh, damn, that's good. And if you don't say it out loud, you're going to remember it, because it's coming in on the right side of your brain. And we need to get it on the left side of the brain to be able to remember it. So when you think of something really good, make sure to say it out loud, or you will forget. You will. So yeah. And if you're feeling blah, like no energy, blah, exhausted, tired, rest. It's rest time. So we're literally right in between two cycles. And we're starting a new cycle here this weekend. And that's why I'm like, chill, rest. So you might get dizzy. You might feel kind of tummy achy. You might just feel discombobulated. That's when I'm like thirsty, whatever it is. Just give your body what it needs. Remember, our bodies are finally trying to catch up to the eclipse energy. Bodies are usually 2 weeks behind any astro event. I don't know why, but it's a mind, body, soul connection. The body's always the last to respond. So we're still kind of reeling from that eclipse energy, and the full moon kind of kicked us in the teeth. So like I said, rest tomorrow. Take care of you. It's a self-care day tomorrow and into Saturday, but Saturday, Sunday, we got a new cycle starting. It's all good. All good. I want to talk about this because you're going to notice this a lot more with kids. So 4-year-old walking on tippy toes, speech issues too. Now, if we're eliminating, if you're going to be eliminating autism, I will tell you that I was very speech delayed and I walked on my tippy toes. As a matter of fact, Paige, when she was in junior high, we had to get her into physical therapy because we were afraid that her legs would get short. like the tendons would be short. So we had to always remind her heel toe, heel toe. So it is very common for highly intuitive children to talk at a late age. And the reason why is because why should we talk to you verbally? Because it's so much slower than if we just do it telepathically. If we can talk to you telepathically, third eye to third eye, we can get stuff knocked out quick. That's why those type of kids will talk to you and they'll put their forehead to your forehead. And if you're not listening, what do? They headbutt you. And they headbutt you because they're pissed because they know that you can't hear what they're saying. So that's why I'm like, so if a little kid puts their third eye to your third eye, clear your mind, take a deep breath in, and you can say something like, I'm trying to hear you. And they'll go, they'll look at you like that, like finally somebody gets it. So it's really fun. I know even for whatever reason, autistic kids or ADD or ADHD kids seem to also have that as well. So it's great. Like I said, I love it. So it's fun. But like I said, just do the third eye to third eye. Cats do it too. Cats do everything telepathically. They're usually in an alpha state. So yeah, your cat will headbutt you too because they want to talk. It's kind of cool, huh? Yes, norovirus is very rampant right now. I know a couple people, but this is the body purging from the eclipse. The eclipse blew open our solar plexus, our third eye, and our crown. So our tummies still aren't settled yet. I know a lot of people that have tummy issues. So, but yeah. Our ADHD kids drawn to empathy. We are naturally empathic to a fault. And I say we're naturally empathic to a fault. Yep. Shin splints are for people that are like, they're hurting inside and they're crying out for love and affection, but they're going to suck it up and just keep marching forward. They're just going to keep pushing forward. So let's see. Let's see, hang on. Yeah, children for, okay, here's a good one. Any crystals to help kids with ADHD focusing and remembering? Nicole, yes. So I like rainbow fluorite for anything for students. It helps them to remember things. So rainbow fluorite is excellent, any fluorite, but I like rainbow fluorite, if not purple fluorite. And then the other thing is fire quartz, especially if it's a boy, charoite if it's for a girl. Those are going to be the best ones, best crystals. This one, psoriatic arthritis, is usually for people that do not like change. They have a hard time going with the flow. They have a hard time just like, hey, let's not even have an itinerary. Let's just go. And they're like, no, I need to know where we're going to be, what time we're going to be there, how we're going to leave, how many people are going to be. So a lot of times, that's for people that, like I said, have a hard time going with the flow. Hi, him. I think Chris, let me look that one up. Actually, that's actually pretty good. Let me see if I can find that one in here. Fascia. Timothy. F. E-F. E-F. Hang on. Let me bring my glasses, but I'm going to figure it out. F-A. Fever. Fatigue. No. I'm not seeing it. Eyes. No. I'm not seeing it. Usually that, I'll have to look that one up and message me on that one. Message me on that one. Thoughts on PEMF mats? I like them. I do. I like them. Let's see. Rheumatoid arthritis, Tammy, very similar to the anything arthritic is, like I said, hard time moving forward, hard time with change, hard time being flexible, hard time being flexible. Oh, myofascia, duh. And why? Myofascial, oh, there we go. Overly sensitive to stress, pressure, or feeling controlled and trapped as a result of your environment. Ooh, you're feeling trapped for myofascial pain syndrome. You feel overly sensitive to stress, pressure, or feeling controlled and trapped as a result of your environment due to pressure. Kidney issues have a lot, Kathleen, to do with how you see yourself within your family setting. It's kind of like you have a sister who's a lawyer, a brother who's a doctor, and you're a secretary. So you put that undue criticism upon yourself when it's not necessary. What causes celiac? That's a food response. That has everything to do with it. Basically, it's a food allergy. That's what celiac is. So you're allergic to the Franken food that we're eating. So inflammation in the gums, Matt, that has everything to do with you not speaking your truth. It's easier for you to bite your tongue to avoid a fight than it is for you to say something about it. So you can put your crystals out to charge tonight. Full moon was yesterday, but it's good for a couple days before and after. So totally fine. Plantar fasciitis, stubbornness, the unwilling to move forward when it's time to move forward. Because you're like, well, let me think about it. I'm like, ain't no thinking. You saw the signs. Let's go. So it's stubbornness. But again, stubbornness is fear of moving forward because of the what if scenario. It's fear of moving forward because of you're scared. You're scared about the what if. Let's see. Eye twitching for weeks. Usually, China, that really is a nutrition deficiency. So like I said, make sure you're taking your vitamins. Because remember, the vitamin, we don't have vitamin enriched food. And if we do, it's not something your body can necessarily break down very well. So Stephen, I got some, I just made that.
Not really.
I did. I just made it right before I went live. So yeah, I guess you're right, 45 minutes ago. But it's Sloppy Joe's. Chris, this is funny because I had this too. I had surgery on my heart because of it. But a lot of times that has to do with strain in your love life. So I got hit with that after I got a divorce. So eye problems, usually, Corey, that has a lot to do with not seeing, you have a hard time looking at yourself from other people's perspectives. Which it really shouldn't matter, but it's kind of like, you know, if you're a drunk or if you're drinking and you act like a fool and you're like, that's not how I was. I wasn't acting like that. And they're like, no, here's the video. Look at it. And you're like, no, that's fine. I don't want to look at it. So, so that's when your SVT hit. That's where it's at. Yeah. It's literally a broken heart syndrome. It's a broken heart syndrome. Is there a certain way to meditate to release stress and anxiety? No, but you just have to do it every day. So you really do, because we're learning how to control your brain with a chipmunk on cocaine. And by doing it every day, the chipmunk gets a little less cocaine, but we got to wean him off first before we can just start talking to the damn thing. So it takes a little while. So be patient with that. It's not an overnight thing. It's not. And I think so many people are used to instant gratification due to our phones and Amazon and everything else, that meditation is not that way. It is not that way. And you have to learn how to be okay with being bored and sitting there. Inflammation has a lot, Anne, to do with sugar. It really does. How your body processes sugar. So like I said, go easy on the sugar, replace it with fruit juice or fruit instead. I've learned that that's helped me out a lot with cravings, with my sugar cravings. Do I offer guided meditation? I actually, Carrie wrote a book called 10 to Zen with 12 guided meditations that you can download from iTunes. So I did. High cholesterol, usually that's a response to your body with food, but anything blood related, again, is all work, no play. So time for a vacation. Time for a vacation. Whoop. Oh, it's just Cammie. She's sensitive. Let's see. sensitive skin and rash around the mouth. Usually, especially if it's going to be right here, a lot of times there's a thing called face mapping, and I want you to look that up, because usually anything around here is your digestion, your kidneys, and the liver, and that they're not detoxing or processing very well due to some reason. I will tell you that if you have issues like sensitive skin or even like some inflammation, autoimmune stuff, I went to Jason Ott and I had some gut stuff, and I am telling you, I feel so much better by going there. So Jason Ott is with Empowered Nutrition. And so I would suggest that he's more alternative, I guess you would say, but he knows what the hell he's doing. So that might be something you want to look into. He's a friend of mine on Facebook, so you might be able to check him out. I think normally I'd have him on my website, but right now that's down for right now. Ways to heal from childhood trauma. So I explained this a little bit yesterday, but let me just put this in a nutshell. Really break down how your parents were raised. If you can see how they were raised and you can see things through their eyes and not yours, it will give you a different perspective. And maybe you'll be able to understand then why your dad, like say, was an alcoholic. Because if your dad was an alcoholic, 9 times out of 10, it's because his dad was an overbearing, mean SOB. So if a girl's an alcoholic, usually that has a lot to do with abandonment. So, dad died early and then the husband left and the son won't talk to her. That's triple abandonment stuff. So, but the easiest way to heal from childhood trauma is to, 1, get a counselor if we need to, but 2, really break it down and look at how your parents were raised. So that way you can begin to look at things, again, from a different perspective. Instead of looking at it through your eyes, maybe you should look at it through your parents' eyes. And that might be able to help gain a little bit of perspective so you can learn on how to forgive them. And yeah, Jason Ott, he is here in Omaha. Yes. Lots of weird. Okay, so here's the deal. Lots of weird dreams. So during the full moon yesterday, and on the 22nd was the peak of the Lyrid meteor shower. And so whenever there's a meteor shower that goes over, we all dream batshit crazy. So oftentimes you're going to notice that when you do dream, you're going to remember going back to your parents' house, your grandparents' house, or somewhere where it feels safe. That's usually when you're going to get messages. But yeah, that's usually when we're astral traveling. That's right. Let's see. Cleansed your family. You feel, I feel like kept the negative energy, so tired. So I would tell you, cleanse your family. Don't forget to cleanse yourself. So you want to cleanse yourself over the crown, underneath your feet, and then sage the house. So sage yourself first, then the house. So that way you're not getting caught with the icky ickies. So there we go. Get that on a little bit more. So what about seasonal allergies with kids? Some of my more sensitive kids have issues with allergies, especially with plants and things like that. And it's unfortunately, it's par for the course. But again, usually I'm really trying to get them to get the right nutrition. But unfortunately, there's not a whole lot you can do other than get them one of those like a HIPAA filter type thing in their bedroom. I did that with Steven because he used to get them really bad, especially around Easter with the pine, because he's allergic to pine. So, so somebody said, looking at the way my parents were raised, you advised me to do this. It changed your perspective on your parents, helped with self-forgiveness too. It really does. It instead, in a weird way, you feel sorry for them. So yeah, it's in a weird way, you feel sorry for them. So what are my thoughts on drinking moon water? I do. No problem with that. I do. So not a problem. Hang on, I couldn't. What do you do in your dream if you see your loved one, but you're angry with them? I wake up and feel guilty. That's a normal human response, and that's okay. They don't hold any harbor. Remember, they're in heaven. They don't have negative emotions. Negative emotions don't exist there. They exist here. So it's a good way for you to release your anger in a safe space, subconsciously speaking. So don't feel guilty about that. In a way, that's just telling me that you're healing a little bit. So, that's perfect. Thank you, Billy Joe. So yeah, it's empoweredprevention.com. That's Jason's website. So like I said, talk to him. He's excellent. He also has a Rife machine. So I can't say that too loud, but just look into Mr. Rife and his machine. You understand Tesla coils. Rife machine is Tesla coils. Let's see. Asthma, from what I could remember, is for people that are kind of wanting love. They're not good at saying, hey, I need a hug. It's kind of like a weird little broken heart, but they don't know how to explain to people, I need a hug, or I need attention, or I need love. So I'm going to talk about this because some people do. So you had a dream about your death date. So here's the deal with that. Remember, we have several exit points throughout our life. So you may have dreamt that that was your death day, but that also could be a point of which you're choosing not to go. So, but like I said, usually we have anywhere from 4 to 7 points in our lives where we could have died, but we didn't. And that's usually one of those exit points. But usually 3 days before you have an exit point, you're usually going to astral travel, go home and be like, all right, do we want to cross over or stay? We're going to stay. Okay, cool. So, and then you decide to stay. Let's see. TMJ is because you're biting your tongue. You really know what you want to say to somebody, but you're not saying it because either you're really not good at confrontation or you just don't want to deal with the drama. And the bursitis on the left is an indecision of yours not to move forward with your spiritual development, your creativity, or your mother. So it's one of the three: creativity, intuition, spirituality, or your mom. Yes, it's very common with any tech type because it's raising your vibration, therefore making you feel safe to talk to people. So yeah, I would never wear any tech type in public. No, because I would have everybody coming up to me, snot ragging, going, I got to tell you about my problems. So I'm like, if anything, I do the opposite. I make sure to ground really hard when I'm out in public. So I don't have people coming up to me crying. Tinnitus is actually really common. Ask for spirit to kind of back off a little bit. If it's constant, then it's usually because you're lacking balance in your life. So, but sometimes if it kind of goes in and out a little bit, ask your spirit guides to back off, and they will. And so plugged right ear, Jennifer, kind of the same thing. It might be your spirit guide. So ask them to step off a little bit. And if it's not, maybe we need to go look at your ears, because usually it's going to be one or both. So fatty liver, hard to lose weight. Yes. And usually fatty liver and autoimmune issues are like best friends. So, and that kind of is par for the course, really is. So the clicking or the ringing, I'm going to talk about this. The lower pitch wah that you hear in your ear, the right, that's going to be your spirit guides. The high pitch is usually going to be your angels, and the left side is usually loved ones. If it's both, then we had some sort of a shift of energy, like a solar flare, Schumann resonance spike, geomagnetic storm, something along those lines. So that's usually for ears. Sometimes they feel like they're clogged up and you're like, what? And then all of a sudden it goes away. Usually that's your spirit guides too. This was a pretty good one here. How do you use synchronicities? Well, synchronicities are Spirit's way of kind of guiding you in the direction. So if you're seeing a lot of replicating numbers, that tells me that you're vibrating at a really high frequency. That's a good thing. Those are the days you're like, all right, God, this is what I need. Because you're vibrating really high. It's a great day to manifest. So ask God what it is that you need, so that way you can get it faster. Long-term insomnia a lot of times is related to your pineal gland, which is melatonin, serotonin. So enlightened people don't sleep well. We don't. But here's the deal. We don't need to. So you were told that you need to sleep 8 to 9 hours, and unenlightened people need 8 to 9 hours of sleep. Enlightened people need 4 to 5 because our pineal glands are open. Therefore, we have more melatonin, serotonin, or at least access to it. And therefore, you're not going to sleep that much. And almost all of us wake up between 2 and 4, damn near every night. And it's usually 2:22, 3 o'clock, 3:11, 3:33, 4, 4:11, 4:44. There's always some significant number. So, but that's actually the best time to communicate with your spirit guides because you're not thinking of anything. That's the best time. Neck and shoulder pain have a lot to do with somebody, Denise, literally being a pain in your neck, or people being a pain in your neck. Let's see here. Let's see. Taylor, bumps on the back of kids' legs and arms. That's a gluten intolerance. It really is. That's usually a gluten issue. Could be lack of like vitamin B or D or one of the two. So get them on a multivitamin, see if that doesn't go away. If it doesn't go away, it's probably a gluten intolerant. You guys got to remember, they have stripped down the bread is not good bread anymore. I would have you, if you're going to have bread, look into Ezekiel bread. It's usually in the frozen section. That's like real bread. So, and that is the only stuff I can have that I like it because it doesn't rip out your guts, and it's really grainy. It's made with sprouted seeds basically. So it's so much easier on your tummy. So it's called Ezekiel bread. I like it. Can't clear up your lungs, Judy. Lung issues are a lot to do with your heart chakra. Lung issues have a lot to do with your love life, or like you have a broken heart. It's brokenhearted. Yeah, bread doesn't even mold anymore. Yeah, right. Cheese doesn't either. I'm all like, some of the cheese. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Let's see here. I'll put this Amazon link. Like I said, I'm going to put that on Facebook here just as soon as I am done here. Why is replicating numbers a sign of being awake? It's a universal sign to let you know that you're connected to God source energy again, and that only people that have their crown chakra open can see it. So I find it funny because when you tell that to an unenlightened person, it's so funny because they're like, oh, you just happen to see the clock. And I'm like, yep. But when you go through an awakening, it's way beyond chance that you're seeing 11:11, 1:11, 3:11, 9:11. Like, it's way beyond chance. It's just one of the cool things that we get privy to as being enlightened, I guess. Just found your dream home. Safe to sign the papers. It is tomorrow. If you can hold off one more day, because Mercury is out of retrograde today. Pancha, yes, Pancha bread is great too. I forgot about that. So I'm going to talk about this, how to distinguish between claircognizance and manifestation. Claircognizance is a psychic ability. Claircognizance is a way of knowing. That is my number one ability. I don't know how I know half the shit that I know, but I do. So manifestation is basically law of attraction. It's the way that you're putting out vibration in order for you to get something back. Like energy attracts like energy. So broke people can't manifest. Broke-minded people can't manifest money. So it's the way you think about things is your own block, because nobody can block you. How would you know if you were born in a retrograde? You'll have to get an astrology reading done or an astrology chart done. Let's see. Lupus and rheumatoid arthritis, Monica. Usually if somebody has that combination, I'm going to tell you that your childhood was probably messed up pretty bad. You probably had one hell of a childhood. And the best thing that I can do to tell you, fix your childhood, fix your trauma the best that you can. And I'm fully aware that's going to require some counseling, but no more stuffing it down. It's time to talk about it. It's time to air it out. It's time to get it out there. It's time to really let it go. Does sound therapy help release stress and or past stuff? Not only yes, Cheryl, but hell yes. Hell yes, absolutely. And I'm going to tell you, sound therapy or sound healing or any sort of resonance is going to be the way that we start healing people, is with sound. It's with sound. Practical exercises to strengthen your intuition. Meditate, 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 meditate. That is the only thing. There is no shortcut. There is no other way of doing it. You just have to learn how to meditate, because it's the gaps of thought. It's that quietness in the gap of thought is when spirit's going to be able to go, hey, hey. And that's usually when you're going to get it. Laryngitis. Tammy, again, you're not being vocal. You're not speaking your truth. You're not telling people no, or you're having a hard time being vulnerable and safe around people who are safe to be around. I have no idea about this because I'm curious too, but I've seen it been thrown around a little bit, Taylor. I don't know anything about it, but I'm all like, So my husband is the business guy, so I'll have to ask him about it. I don't really know. Don't know. Let's see. I talked about this one, Amy. Why am I gaining weight the last year or two as eating the same before? It's one of two things. One, as a high empath, everybody's coming to you with their problems, draining you dry. At the end of the day, your body is like, oh my God, I need to hold on to extra fat because the next day I'm going to be bled dry by the emotions of other people. Or number two, it is because you're eating with guilt. If you're going to eat something, eat it because you freaking earned it or you deserve it. So change your thought processes around food. Okay. So easier said than done. I'm fully aware of that. Kids continually sick. Here's the deal, Jody. One, there's going to be two reasons. One, way too much sugar, and too much sugar, no routine. Or two, there's too much drama, noise, and insecurity inside of the home. So we need a comfortable environment for kids to be raised. And if they're constantly moving, going, they don't have a good routine, they're eating fast food, they're eating junk food or a lot of sugar, they are always going to be sick. Kids need it quiet, routine, and easy going. Thoughts on Anthony Williams' medical medium books? Yes, hell yes, and especially for autoimmune issues. Yes. I like Anthony Williams' medical medium book because when I read that book, I was like, that's how, now it clicked. So that was the book that I was like, now I understand viral illnesses turn into autoimmune issues, and here is exactly why. So I like that book for anybody that has autoimmune issues. The other thing is that if you do have autoimmune issues, I would have you consider fasting. So fasting has been a proven way, a very simple way for the body to push a restart button. So because instead what it does is it goes into ketosis and then it starts to eat up all the bad stuff in your body like it's supposed to. So consider intermittent fasting or fasting. Again, I'm not a doctor, can't tell you what to do, but I'd maybe look into that and do your research, okay? There you go. Ate a whole bag of pinwheels because I earned it. Damn, those things are good. So, and I didn't feel guilty. That's right. That's how you're supposed to do it because you earned it. I know we get chills when something resonates with us. Is it significance to where on the body we get the chills when it happens? No. I asked that question too to my spirit guides and they said, no, it's just how your brain processes it. So no, I would say, no, not at all, but that's just truth. That's truth. Thoughts on castor oil? Old school remedies work, my dear. Old school remedies work. Brittany, throat cancer, if it's not due to environment, meaning tobacco use, it's usually because they're trying to speak their truth and they keep getting shut down. And they're resenting the person who they're trying to speak the truth to. Am I going to start a channel with conspiracies and cryptids? I think what I am going to do is start doing some more Zoom sessions. Because again, on these Q&As, I can't talk too much about this stuff because I'll get blackballed. And it's happened. I've had it, let's just say that I'll get blackballed. So that's why we're going to start doing some more things on Zoom and talk about stuff like that. Yes. The heel on the right foot, Ashley, because you are scared to death to move forward with a different job or a different relationship. That's usually where it's at. Bone cancer, Chris, has a lot to do with stability. And, you know, a lot of people, and I'm just curious, Chris, if the person that you're talking about with bone cancer, one, if it's a secondary response, but if it originated there, they really don't like themselves. They do not like themselves. They don't like who they are. And that's usually where I see that if it's not like a secondary response. So somebody was asking about eyes, like the dry eye. So I'm going to talk about the dry eye and also about the eyes. So again, eyes have everything to do with you not being able to see yourself from another person's perspective. So if somebody's like, you know, you were acting really rude, you're like, well, no, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. And if they go back and show you the video that you were being rude, you don't even want to watch it. They're like, no, I just don't want to watch it. It's almost like you can't see yourself through other people's eyes, or you don't see the truth right in front of your face. So one of the two. So Ashley, so this is one that if he's hitting, pinching, and biting, I'm curious to know if his dad is in the picture. Because if dad's not in the picture, that would make sense of why he's doing that. Because he doesn't know how to express his anger. Thoughts on thoughts on my wife's favorite numbers being 4 and 7, her passing on 4 and 7. It's strange, but this is more common than you think. A lot of people like a certain number and they usually die on that certain day. So I see that a lot, or I'll see it a lot with even in families. You'll see that a lot within families, like they all die on a certain, like the 28th or something like that. So why do you wake up with headaches every morning? One, Missy, it might be your pillow. But number two, make sure that you're hydrated at nighttime. I'm guessing it's a dehydration issue. What helps with cavities? I got this one in my, hang on, I'm going to tell you, because I have it saved. And it's high, it's, and I can't say what it is because I'm not going to remember. But I have it in, hang on, I'm going to get it. It starts with an H. It is, it's like no, not that one. It's hydropoxy, hydroacetate, hydro something. So it's just kind of, they're just now starting to figure it out. But Morales, if you can message me on Facebook, I'll look it up for you and I'll tell you what it is. So I can help you with that cavity stuff. Wow, some of these are many of us in the family are born on the 8th, not the same month, but the 8th. Hydroxyapatite. That's it, Tiffany. Thank you very much. That's what it is. No, sorry. Hydroxyapatite. That's the stuff if you have cavities right there. That's the stuff right there. But Brittany, if you're seeing, if your family's all born on the 8th, that's a soul family. So we have soul mates, soul friends, soul teachers, soul families. So that means that you've reincarnated with this family several times over. Oral fixation. So Shannon, that has a lot to do with, I know this sounds weird. Sometimes it's anxiety. Sometimes it's boredom. Usually it's a side of somebody that's neurodivergent, ADD, ADHD. And it also could be the fact that your mom didn't nurse you and you have some issues with that. So it's weird over here. Being a master number 11 life path, is that to be psychic in some way? You're naturally going to be more intuitive. I'm also an 11 too. So it's just, it comes a little bit more naturally for us than most people. It's kind of like we know how to play the piano just by looking at it. And some people can only get to chopsticks. That's okay. How do you communicate with a spirit that died in the house? You hear knocking all the time. Nina, just be vocal. Just be vocal. You're going to talk to them just like you're talking to me. So, and a lot of times if they're knocking, use that to your advantage. 1 knock means yes, 2 knock means no. So communicate that way. That's old school. That's old school paranormal research right there, paranormal investigating. So that's good stuff. So, so many getting skin cancer on the face. Yeah. And I'm going to blame a lot of that on the makeup or the products that we're using on our face. I don't think it's necessarily the sun, because skin cancer wasn't really around even before, like in the 1900s. So I don't think it's the sun. I think it's the stuff that we're putting on our face. Yeah. Swelling in the right armpit, go to the doctor on that one, because that's a lymph node issue. And if something's going wrong in the lymph node, we need to get that looked at. So that's a doctor look at one of those. Getting goosebumps in the right side watching paranormal shows. Yeah, I don't watch paranormal shows, but yeah, it's usually because your soul is recognizing that as truth. So whatever you're seeing, it's weirdly truthful. Yes, you can ask your guides and angels to connect in ways that you like through words or songs. You can try to get them to be a little bit more particular. That's fine. They'll try to do the best that they can. This is a good one. Can somebody have a miracle after getting cancer and become better? Absolutely. The body is a self-regulating mechanism. It will heal itself if given the right parameters. Absolutely, yes. How do you help your 9-year-old son struggling with IBS and acid reflux? Ashley, food. You can't feed that kid mac and cheese and ramen noodles and frozen pizzas and expect him not to have that. So you're either going to have to learn how to cook or start feeding him some better food. That has everything to do with his food that he's eating, and his body is not able to process it, and it's trying to purge it as quickly as possible. So this was a good one. I remember you mentioned something about Omaha having Om in the name. Is that significant? It is, because the lady that told me that was explaining to me. She goes, well, that's why you enjoy being in Omaha. It's because of the noise. I'm like, because of the name. I'm like, huh? She goes, Om. I'm like, of course. So made sense. Thoughts on cranial sacral therapy, light touch therapy? Yeah, I like it. I like it. So prostate cancer, Brian, has a lot to do with my alpha males, especially ex-military or like firefighter or cop. That is very common is prostate. It's actually a trauma response in a weird way. Because you are always looking over your shoulder at what might be a threat. So you're always looking over your shoulder at the what if, what may happen, but you're in full protection mode. And as a result, you either resent the government that trained you that way, but there's a little bit of resentment in there with that protection. And that's what prostate cancer is. Almost always I see it with ex-military, cops, everything else. Let's see. So what's my favorite meditation? My go-to, and I'm not gonna lie about this, my go-to is Dr. Wayne Dyer, the I Am meditation one. I don't know why, but that one just, I can do that and I'm like, boom, I'm meditating quick. Like, I don't know what it does to my brain, but it will shut it down. Probably because I've used it so much that my brain, listening to that noise, automatically knows what to do. Do I have Reiki done? I do. I get it done about 4 times a year. There's a lot of my old students that do Reiki. But Amber at Awakenings, I work with her every day. So, but Amber at Awakenings, she does that. She's a really good Reiki master. So, when a pet passes away, can they send you your next pet? Yeah, they do. Especially cats are a little weird, but if a cat shows up at your doorstep, there's a reason. Take the cat in. So, and it's literally showing up to protect you from something bad. So because that's a cat's job, is to protect you subconsciously or spiritually speaking. So that's why cats were big in Egypt. So Reiki or access bars, it's the same thing. So Reiki, access bars, holy fire Reiki, I'm sorry, it's the same thing. It's all healing energy. It's all healing energy. So black cats are the best. So at least for protection from the underworld or dark. So, but some people swear by white cats. So to each their own. I'm a black cat person though. So I need a black cat. Yes. Okay, I think I'm going to quit there because, yeah, my throat hurts. It's because I've been sitting at my computer for most of the day today writing, and then I went shopping because I had to find I have a photo shoot coming up, so I needed to get clothes. So, and I hate shopping, but I'm like, Mom, will you go with me? She's like, yes, because she can ground me really well. So, but want to thank everybody. I have a live crystal sale tomorrow. I'm going to try to do it on this platform. I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know. We're just going to see. So, but I'm going to try to do this on this platform here, the live crystal sale. So that's going to be happening tomorrow from 7 to 9. So if you want to join me, great. So I'll be doing that. Other than that, have an amazing weekend, guys. The energy is getting so much better. Finally, the energy is getting so much clearer, so much better. So really make sure that you're writing down those goals of yours. I mean, really write them down because I think you're going to find how quick you're going to be able to get those goals. Just follow the signs. So the biggest thing is write the goals down. Be like, all right, God, this is what I need. Please show me how to get there. And then follow the weird. That's it. Just follow the weird. All right, guys, have a wonderful weekend. It's shaping up to be a really good weekend. So I'll talk to you guys soon.